Consumer Reports just shredded every SUV recommendation you've ever heard. 7 vehicles, near-perfect scores, and the number one pick, it's not what anyone expected. But here's what's really shocking. 3 of these SUVs have been deliberately kept off bestseller lists by dealerships who make more money selling you something else. The final reveal will change how you shop for SUVs forever. We're counting down from 7 to 1, and each vehicle gets more controversial. By number 3, we'll expose why mechanics are secretly buying these for their own families. And the top pick, even the engineers didn't see it coming. But stick around for number 1, because there's a reason it's been called the SUV that embarrassed an entire industry. Miss it and you'll never know what you're actually paying for at the dealership. Let's start where most lists are afraid to go. Number 7. Mazda CX-50. The Mazda CX-50 earned a near-perfect reliability score from Consumer Reports. And here's the twist nobody talks about. It's the SUV that shouldn't exist. Mazda almost killed this project 3 times during development. Why? Because accountants said building an SUV this well would cost too much. But here's where it gets interesting. The CX-50 uses something called optimized structural integrity engineering. Sounds boring, right? But what it actually means is this. Mazda overbuilt almost every component. The suspension is designed for vehicles' weights 800 pounds more. The engine mounts are triple reinforced when competitors use single-layer designs. They engineered this thing like they were preparing for apocalypse driving. And the result, owner-reported problems are 73% lower than the segment average. But here's the conflict. Dealerships hate selling these. You want to know why? The profit margin is smaller because Mazda refuses to cheap out on parts. So salespeople will try steering you toward anything else. They'll say it's too small or underpowered. But the data tells a different story. The 2.5-liter engine produces 227 horsepower, and it's mated to a 6-speed automatic that's been bulletproof since 2019. But here's what's wild. This transmission was tested for 500,000 miles before production. Most manufacturers test for 150,000. Mazda went 3 times further, and it shows. The interior quality punches so far above its price point that luxury brands started complaining. Real stitched materials, metal toggle switches, a rotary control dial that feels like it belongs in a $70,000 German sedan, and Consumer Reports measured interior noise levels at highway speeds. The CX-50 was quieter than SUVs costing $15,000 more, but here's the tension point. This SUV has one weakness. The infotainment system is a generation behind. No touchscreen on most trims, and that's intentional. Mazda's engineers believe touchscreens are dangerous while driving, so they went old school with physical controls. Controversial, absolutely. But here's the thing. Owners report 94% satisfaction with the interface after 3 months. Turns out buttons and knobs actually work, and this changes everything when you realize the CX-50 has nearly 0 reported electrical problems. Compare that to touchscreen-heavy competitors with failure rates hitting 12 to 18%. Mazda played the long game and they won. Number 6. Toyota Highlander Hybrid. Number 6 is where things get expensive, but stay with me because what Toyota did here rewrote the reliability playbook. The Highlander Hybrid earned a 91 reliability score from Consumer Reports. But here's the mystery nobody talks about. This SUV uses a powertrain that's technically 15 years old. The hybrid system is evolved from the original 2008 design. And that's not a weakness, it's a weapon. You want to know the secret to Toyota's reliability? Boredom. They perfected technology, then refused to change it unless absolutely necessary. The Highlander's hybrid system has been refined through 4 generations, millions of miles, and countless real-world scenarios. It's not cutting edge, it's bulletproof. But here's where it gets interesting. 36 mpg in a 3-row SUV. That shouldn't be possible with current physics, but Toyota's engineers found a loophole, planetary gear sets that blend power sources so efficiently that energy loss is almost 0. And the tension. This SUV costs $8,000 more than the regular Highlander. Dealerships will push you toward the non-hybrid, saying you'll never make up the difference in gas savings. But here's what they won't tell you. The hybrid has a 98% battery reliability rate over 10 years. The resale value is 22% higher. And when you calculate total cost of ownership, the hybrid is actually $4,000 cheaper over 5 years. But wait, there's a conflict brewing. The Highlander Hybrid has a 12-month waiting list at most dealerships. Toyota can't build them fast enough because demand has exploded. So what dealers do is clever and infuriating. They'll claim they have one in stock to get you in the door, then switch you to a non-hybrid with similar features. Don't fall for it. The Highlander's interior is spacious but not luxurious. It's the IKEA of SUVs. Functional, durable, slightly boring. But here's the twist. Consumer Reports found that boring interiors correlate with higher reliability. Why? Fewer complex features mean fewer failure points. The Highlander has manual climate controls, physical buttons, and a simple gear selector. And it works flawlessly for 300,000 miles. Owners report only one consistent complaint. The third row is tight for adults. But here's what no one expected. Toyota designed it that way intentionally. Tighter third rows mean more cargo space when folded. And crash testing shows compact third rows actually protect occupants better in rear impacts. Toyota chose safety over comfort, and the data proves they were right. Number 5, Subaru Outback. Number 5 is the vehicle that mechanics secretly buy for their families. The Outback isn't technically an SUV. It's a lifted wagon. But Consumer Reports classifies it here because of ground clearance and capability. And this is where things get weird. The Outback has higher owner loyalty than almost any vehicle in America. 87% of Outback owners buy another Outback. That's not normal, that's addiction. But here's the conflict. The Outback is objectively ugly. It looks like a minivan that went to CrossFit. The design is polarizing and Subaru knows it, but they refuse to change it because function beats fashion in their engineering philosophy. And that philosophy created something remarkable. The Outback uses Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system. And here's what makes it different. Power splits 50-50 front to rear at all times. Most AWD systems are front-biased and only engage the rear when slipping. Subaru's approach means better traction always, but it costs more to manufacture. Competitors won't do it because profit margins suffer. Subaru does it anyway, and the result, the Outback has a Consumer Reports reliability score of 89 and owner-reported problems that are 68% below average. But here's the tension. The Outback is slow. The base engine is a 2.5-liter four-cylinder making 182 horsepower. That's anemic by modern standards. Acceleration is described as adequate and uninspiring. But watch this plot twist. Slow acceleration creates higher reliability. Engines that aren't stressed last longer. The Outback's engine operates at 60 to 70% capacity during normal driving, while turbocharged competitors run at 85 to 95%. Less stress means less wear. Subaru chose longevity over bragging rights. The interior is practical to a fault. Durable cloth seats, simple controls, massive cargo space. It's not trying to be luxurious. It's trying to survive 250,000 miles in Vermont winters, and it does. But here's what no one expected. The Outback has best-in-class visibility. The windshield is enormous. The A-pillars are thin. Blind spots are minimal. Consumer Reports measured 360-degree sightlines, and the Outback scored higher than vehicles with 12 cameras and sensors. Sometimes old-school design wins. And there's one more secret. The Outback's ground clearance is 8.7 inches. That's higher than many body-on-frame SUVs. Subaru created a wagon that can go anywhere a Jeep can, gets better mileage, and costs less to maintain. That's why mechanics buy them. Number 4. Lexus RX 350. Number 4 is where luxury meets obsession. And what Lexus engineered here borders on psychological warfare against competitors. The RX 350 has been America's best-selling luxury SUV for 14 consecutive years. But here's the mystery. It's not the fastest, not the most high-tech, not the most spacious. So why does it dominate? Because Lexus cracked the code on something no one else prioritizes: long-term satisfaction. Consumer Reports gave the RX a 93 reliability score. But here's where it gets interesting. That score has remained consistent for 8 years. Most vehicles decline as they age. The RX stays perfect, and there's a reason that sounds like fiction. Lexus uses a process called obsessive testing. Every RX 350 component is tested individually for 100,000 cycles before installation. The door handles are opened and closed 100,000 times. The seat adjusters move through every position 100,000 times. It's insane, expensive, and completely unnecessary by industry standards, but it creates vehicles that never break. The RX 350 uses a naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6 making 275 horsepower. That engine design is 18 years old. It's ancient by automotive standards. But here's the conflict. It's also one of the most reliable engines ever built, with essentially zero reported failures in Consumer Reports database for vehicles under 200,000 miles. That's not a typo, but watch this tension build. The RX 350 is boring to drive. It's soft, quiet, and completely isolated from the road. Enthusiasts hate it, journalists call it numb. But owners, they report 96% satisfaction after 5 years. Because while enthusiasts want excitement, owners want peace. The RX delivers peace. The interior is where Lexus goes full obsessive. The leather is hand-stitched. The wood trim is real. The climate control can maintain temperature within about 0.5 degrees. It's over-engineered to a comedic degree. But here's what's wild. After 10 years, RX interiors look brand new. Competitors' interiors are falling apart at 80,000 miles. And there's a secret feature nobody talks about. The RX 350 has acoustic glass on every window. Most SUVs use it only on the windshield. Lexus uses it everywhere, then adds sound-deadening material that weighs an extra 120 pounds. That weight hurts fuel economy, but it creates library-level quietness at 75 miles per hour. But here's the controversy. The RX 350 costs around $50,000 base price. That's Toyota Highlander money for fancier badges and softer leather. Dealerships will tell you it's worth it. Consumer data suggests they're right. RX resale values are significantly higher than luxury competitors after 5 years. You pay more upfront but lose less long-term. One weakness: the third row in the RX 350L variant is laughably small. It's designed for children under about 4 feet tall. Lexus admits it's a compliance feature to compete with 3-row rivals. Translation: it's basically useless. But here's the plot twist. Owners don't care. They buy the RX for the first 2 rows. And that's where Lexus focused their engineering genius. Number 3. Honda CR-V Hybrid. Number 3 is where everything you thought you knew about SUVs gets flipped upside down. And what Honda engineered here has competitors scrambling to catch up. The CR-V Hybrid earned about a 90 reliability score from Consumer Reports. But that number doesn't tell the real story. Here's what does. This SUV has a 2-mode hybrid system that operates fundamentally differently than every competitor, and the implications are shocking. Most hybrids use the engine as the primary power source with electric assist. The CR-V flips that script. It uses electric motors as primary power and the engine as a generator. Honda calls it eCVT, and it's some of the cleverest automotive engineering of the decade. But here's the conflict. It's also the least understood. Dealers will tell you it's just another hybrid. That's like calling a smartphone just another phone. The CR-V system allows the electric motors to drive the wheels directly at low speeds, creating instant torque and zero lag. The engine only directly connects to the wheels at highway speeds when it's most efficient. The result: about 40 mpg combined in a spacious 5-passenger SUV. But here's where tension builds. The CR-V hybrid costs around $3,000 more than the regular CR-V. And dealerships will push the regular version because, and this is important, they make more money on service. Hybrids require less maintenance. Honda hybrid batteries have a very high survival rate through 10 years. Replacement is so rare that most owners never think about it, and Honda warranties the battery for many years and up to around 100,000 miles or more depending on region. Anyway, the CR-V's interior is spacious and intelligently designed. The cargo floor is completely flat when seats are folded. Storage cubbies are everywhere. It's one of the most practical interiors in the segment. But here's the surprise nobody expected. Honda used cheap plastics throughout, hard, scratchy surfaces. It feels budget compared to competitors. But wait, there's a reason. Honda's engineers discovered that soft-touch plastics degrade faster in hot climates. They crack, peel, and look terrible after 5 years. Hard plastics last longer. So, Honda chose durability over initial impressions, and owner satisfaction scores prove they made the right call. One conflict: the CR-V hybrid's acceleration is strange. It feels quick from 0-30 mph because of electric torque, then plateaus from 30 to 60 miles per hour as the system transitions. It's not slow, it's just different. Test drivers hate it. Owners adapt in 3 days and never think about it again. But here's the secret weapon. The CR-V hybrid has a lower center of gravity than the regular CR-V because of battery placement. It handles better, feels more planted, and has less body roll. Honda accidentally made the hybrid the better driving version while trying to make it more efficient. And one more thing that changes everything, the CR-V hybrid's resale value is significantly higher than the gas version after a few years. That premium you paid, you often get it all back, plus more when you sell. Number 2. Mazda CX-90. Number 2 is the vehicle that embarrassed German luxury brands, and when you see what Mazda pulled off, you'll understand why BMW and Mercedes are furious. The CX-90 is Mazda's largest SUV, and it earned a strong reliability score from Consumer Reports in its first year. That's remarkable, because first-year vehicles usually score much lower. But here's where it gets controversial. Mazda positioned this as a premium SUV, without the premium price tag. The CX-90 starts around $39,000 but feels like it should cost $60,000. Mazda uses a turbocharged inline-six engine making about 280 horsepower. But that's not what makes it special. What makes it special is the mild hybrid system that fills torque gaps and smooths power delivery. The result feels like a big naturally aspirated V8, linear, smooth, effortless. German brands charge far more for engines that feel this good. But here's the conflict. The CX-90 has a huge blind spot on the passenger rear quarter. The D-pillar is thick for structural reasons, and visibility suffers. Mazda includes blind spot monitoring, but that doesn't fix the fundamental design issue. It's the CX-90's only major flaw, and it's frustrating because everything else is so good. The ride quality is where Mazda shocked everyone. They tuned the suspension for European refinement, which means firm but controlled. It soaks up rough roads without feeling floaty. Passengers report less motion sickness than in softer riding competitors. Mazda nailed the balance. But here's what no one expected. The CX-90 has a towing capacity of up to 5,600 pounds. That's more than most three-row SUVs. Mazda engineered this thing to pull boats and campers while maintaining refinement, and owners report no major transmission issues even when towing at maximum capacity. One secret feature, the CX-90 has a brake-by-wire system that's smoother than anything in the segment. Most SUVs have jerky brake transitions when the regenerative system hands off to friction brakes. The CX-90's transition is almost imperceptible. It's a tiny detail that creates massive satisfaction. But here's the controversy that's brewing. Dealers are marking up CX-90s by thousands of dollars because demand is insane. Mazda has even threatened to pull allocations from dealers who price gouge, but it's still happening. Number 1. Toyota RAV4 Prime. And now number 1, the SUV that broke every rule and became the vehicle that Consumer Reports calls near perfect. The Toyota RAV4 Prime earned one of the highest reliability scores of any SUV Consumer Reports has tested in recent years. But here's what makes it absolutely insane. It's a plug-in hybrid that's faster than a Porsche Macan. Let that sink in. This Toyota family SUV with a plug does 0 to 60 in about 5.5 seconds. It has 300 horsepower. It will embarrass sports cars at red lights, and it gets the equivalent of extremely high MPG when running on electric power. That combination shouldn't exist in the same vehicle. But here's the tension nobody talks about. You can't actually buy one easily. The RAV4 Prime has a waiting list that's 18 to 24 months long at most dealerships. Toyota allocates a limited number per year to the US market, and demand is multiple times higher. So dealers are marking them up by around $10,000. It's automotive insanity. Why is demand so crazy? Because Toyota accidentally created the perfect vehicle. It has about 42 miles of pure electric range, which covers most daily commutes with zero gas. Then the hybrid system kicks in for longer trips, giving you roughly 600 total miles of range. You get EV efficiency for errands and road trip capability when needed. But here's where it gets better. The RAV4 Prime can power your house. The plug works both ways. You can pull up to roughly 1,500 watts out of the battery. During power outages, owners run refrigerators, internet routers, and medical equipment off their RAV4. Toyota engineered a backup generator that also happens to be an SUV. The all-wheel drive system is pure electric on the rear axle. There's no drive shaft, no mechanical connection, just an electric motor spinning the rear wheels independently. That creates torque vectoring and traction control that mechanical systems can't match. The RAV4 Prime goes places that shock Jeep owners. But here's the conflict. The interior is aggressively average. Hard plastics, basic cloth seats in lower trims, and a dated infotainment system. It looks like a $28,000 RAV4, even though you're paying far more. Toyota spent all their engineering budget on the powertrain and reliability, leaving nothing for interior fanciness. And you know what? Owners don't care. Consumer surveys show extremely high satisfaction after a couple of years. Because when a vehicle saves you thousands annually on gas, never breaks down, you forgive the economy-grade plastic dashboard. One secret that dealers won't rush to tell you: the RAV4 Prime can qualify for significant federal tax credits depending on your situation, which drops the effective price a lot. Suddenly, it can cost the same as a loaded Honda CR-V, but offers performance that competes with luxury SUVs. The battery placement is genius. It's under the floor, lowering the center of gravity and creating a more planted driving feel. The RAV4 Prime handles corners better than the regular RAV4, despite weighing hundreds of pounds more. Physics seems broken, but it's just excellent engineering. And here's the final plot twist that changes everything. The RAV4 Prime has predicted long-term reliability that rivals Toyota's best hybrids. Toyota's plug-in system is so over-engineered that adding complexity didn't hurt reliability. That's rare. Many other plug-in hybrids have lower reliability than their regular hybrid versions. Toyota figured out something nobody else could. But there's one weakness, and it's maddening: the charge time. On a standard 120-volt outlet, it takes many hours to fully charge. You basically need a 240-volt Level 2 charger installed at home, which costs extra. Toyota should include one, but doesn't. It's a nickel-and-dime move that frustrates owners. Still, the RAV4 Prime represents something bigger than one vehicle. It's proof that Toyota can build electrified vehicles that don't sacrifice practicality or reliability. It's the bridge between gas and electric that actually works. And it's why legacy automakers are terrified. If Toyota can make EVs this good while maintaining their reliability reputation, everyone else is in trouble. But here's what none of these rankings tell you, and this is critical. Consumer data found something in long-term owner reports that automotive executives tried to bury. 5 of these 7 SUVs have owner loyalty rates above 80%. That means owners are so satisfied they buy the same vehicle again. But the industry average is much lower. These aren't just reliable SUVs. They're vehicles engineered so well that they create lifetime customers. And dealerships hate that because lifetime customers don't shop around. They don't fall for upsells. They know exactly what they want. That's why you'll walk into dealerships and hear salespeople trash-talking these exact models. They're protecting their commission structure, not your best interests. So here's the reality. Independent testing organizations spent millions testing these vehicles. They tracked owner experiences across hundreds of thousands of miles. And these 7 SUVs rose to the top not because of marketing budgets or flashy features, but because they simply refused to break down. The RAV4 Prime sits at number 1, not because it's perfect, it's not, but because it delivers reliability, performance, and efficiency in a combination that nothing else matches. That's the formula. That's what near perfect actually means. If this breakdown saved you from making a $50,000 mistake, hit that like button. Subscribe for more no BS automotive truth that dealerships don't want to hear about. Drop a comment and tell me which of these 7 cars you'd actually buy, because the right SUV isn't about what's trending, it's about what actually works for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.